In this series, I show you common transition mistakes and how to fix them. Mistake number 1, cutting when you're frozen. When doing a transition, like turning your head to the side, don't just turn your head and stop. You lose your momentum and the transition looks like a pop. Instead, complete the movement in a snappy way and cut just as your head starts to turn back. Your viewer's eye will be distracted by the movement, making it look smoother. Mistake number 2, using a busy background. If you're human, you're probably going to move a bit between transitions. If you use a busy background, it's very obvious. When you're in editing, you'll have to choose between lining up your face and lining up the background. Either one is going to give you a pop. Instead, I recommend using a solid background so you can realign yourself without anyone knowing. This way, everyone watching will be focused on you and not the stuff that's moving in the background. Mistake number 3 is using transitions that don't hide your changes. I often see people using small or subtle transitions between very large changes. This always results in a pop because your eye is drawn to the biggest change or movement. Instead, try to use a transition to cover what you're going to change. This can also help draw attention where you want it. A small or subtle movement works well for a transition like adding earrings or changing your lip color. However, if you're doing a large change, like changing your entire outfit or hair, try using a bigger movement. A large transition can cover your entire face, your entire body, or the whole camera lens, and this will help distract the eye and avoid any pops during the transition. Mistake number 4, changing your pose. I often see people changing up their poses during transitions. For example, they might be straight on at the start, and in the next shot they might be completely sideways. This can be jarring and might draw attention away from where you want someone to look. Instead, I recommend keeping a consistent pose before and after the transition. I tend to choose straight on because it's the easiest for me to line up. I use a grid in my monitor that comes from my camera, and many phones also have this feature as well. Like any good before and after photo, keeping a consistent pose will make the difference more obvious. Mistake number 5, not making an obvious change. Sometimes people will have a beautiful or flashy transition and it leaves you searching for what's changed. I've been guilty of this as well, especially when I did transitions before and after adding blush. It was very obvious that I had blush on in person, but in camera it was completely washed out and hard to tell the difference. Instead, plan your transitions to be on big changes that will have an obvious impact. Try adding a bright eyeshadow, a bold lip color, or change your entire hairstyle or outfit. Big changes like this will give your transition a real impact. Follow me for more transition tips and tutorials. Leave a comment and let me know what other transition tutorials you'd like to see.